And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Okay, so it's Scottish Cup semi-final weekend, and in our camp at this moment in time, everyone's not as excited as we probably should be after that disastrous week in the Scottish Premiership, which finds us now for the first time in a long time with the title out of our hands. But in football, sometimes you need to change your direction, try and change your focus. Obviously, the remit is still exactly the same, try and win a game of football. But here's hoping now that the pressure is kind of off for these Rangers players, that they can turn up and try and get back to winning way, try and get back the basics right, and try and blow away a opposition. To be honest, at this moment in time, I couldn't care too much about the performance. I know I said in the last game against Dundee that I wanted to see a performance. Right now, I just want to see us win a game first, and then from there we can probably see us put in a better performance. But again, look, I'm fairly optimistic. If we do win against Hearts and if we do put in a better performance, you better believe I'm going to be shouting from the rooftops and hoping that we can, of course, claw that deficit back in the post-split fixtures, but we'll have to see. Hopefully it all starts this Sunday. Philippe Clement still remains fairly calm, collected ahead of the clash, and stated, and was using this heaven and hell analogy, and stated that he's been buried before. So here's hoping he can get a rally out of his players. Here's hoping these players aren't as much as losers as we think they are, and can get a win against this Hearts side, by the way, that are up for it. Hearts are very much up for it. Stephen Naismith's comments in the pre-match press conference discussing this Rangers team, branding them as losers as well. Also, it should be getting a few of those riled up a little bit. Should be getting these players riled up a little bit. And I know it's a cliche statement, but putting in his comments in the changing room, in the dressing room wall, and going, this is what this guy thinks of you. This is what this team thinks of you. So go and prove yourself as winners. But we'll certainly find out this weekend. For those of you that care, I will be doing a live watch along for on Sunday. So here's hoping we can have a good afternoon and get back to winning ways and see Rangers get to the final of the Scottish Cup. Of course, Celtic and Aberdeen are playing today. And depending on when you're watching this video, that already may have been concluded. So we'll find out a bit later on. Now, one of the players, of course, that was addressing the media yesterday was Abdallah Sima. Now, this saga has been well documented for much of the season. A lot of discussions whether Rangers are going to be signing the player, whether they're not going to be signing the player. Now, back in January, I did provide you an update and stated that Rangers were, in fact, in continuous talks with Brighton and had stated their ambition to try and make the deal permanent come the end of the season. Now, the thing that is currently the big stumbling block at this moment in time is the valuation for Abdallah Sima. I think Sima as a player so far this season has probably one of the players that has had pass marks along with Jack Butland, and actually he is a good player, Sima, and he's still young. He fits our sort of new transfer model under Niels Koepen and all these kind of things. But of course the big stumbling block at this moment in time is the transfer fee. Now, reports stated that Rangers would have no problem matching the valuation, I think, of around £7 to £10 million for Abdallah Sima, probably somewhere closer to £7 million, especially, or £5 million. He's in his last year of his contract, but something. Either way, it would cost us a decent seven-figure amount. And reports were stating that Rangers would have no problem with matching a fee or paying a big fee for Abdallah Sima if we were to get Champions League football and win the league. However, now over the last week, things start to change, and it does look a bit bleak in terms of our future, or maybe getting into the Champions League. So it has begged the question, is Abdallah Sima still going to be a player that we can go on and sign? However, Sima himself has given a green light and basically stated that he wants to return back to Rangers next season, and stated that he's very happy at this football club and could see his future here. This is what he said ahead of the press conference. He said, "You never know in football, anything can happen, but my last season wasn't perfect, so for me the most important thing is where I feel happy, and I feel happy here. I always say that I have everything here to feel happy, and I'm also playing football, but I'm just focused on my season now. We've hopefully got 7 games left, then we are going to think about the future." So I don't think, again, Sima has played it down. I do think he is probably getting the best out of himself at this football club, and if there was a better team in and around him, he wasn't injured, he would be in a great place. But certainly given that green light that he wants to stay at the football club. We also know that Brighton are not going to stand in his way. Brighton, I don't think he's in his plans. He's not in De Zerbi's plans going forward, but they're sort of ambition at this moment in time will be to recoup a transfer fee or get a transfer fee of some sort, especially going into that final year of his contract. And that could bode well with Rangers, that final year of his contract. Again, it is usually a cut price fee, but do I believe that it's going to be a considerable amount? I still feel like we'll have to play around £5 million. He's impressed this season. There's also going to be interest in him from England and in and around Europe, as reported last week. So we could face a bit of a transfer battle there, but the fact that Abdallah Sima has almost pretty much given the green light that he wants to stay at the club and stated that he is happy here could bode well for Rangers going into next season. Now, this then begs the question to you Rangers supporters. Is he a player that you want to see a part of this new rebuild? Is he a player that you like to see in the attacking front going into next season? We talked about getting rid of the old guard, but is Sima a player that you would like to see still join the football club going into next season? Has he made the impact? Has he done enough to warrant money being spent on him, a 7-figure fee being spent on him, especially potentially with no Champions League football? I'm interested to hear people's thoughts and opinions on that. My thoughts would be, yeah, I do think he has done enough. I think he's a player that I like. He's a player that I think when he comes back up to speed will make even more of an impact. Remember, he just come back from an injury, but certainly a player with really good numbers so far this season in a fairly average Rangers team, let's be perfectly honest, in terms of the delivery, in terms of the service, in terms of the other players in and around him. I do think he has delivered. I think he's done well, and I would be interested to see the fact that he's only 22 years old, the fact going forward what we could do in and around a better team if he was in a better team full of winners, a lot more service, all these kind of things. I would be interested to see, and I think his numbers would even go even higher, considering his numbers are very, very good at this moment in time. But yeah, very interesting saga. I do believe, as stated, reports are stating Rangers still very much are interested in him, but the big thing will be the sort of transfer fee. But Abdallah Sima has pretty much given a green light that he wants to stay at this football club going forward. But it's over to you. Do you want Abdallah Sima to stay at this football club going into next season? And what is the maximum you would pay if you were the director of football? How much is the maximum you would pay for his services to Brighton if we don't get Champions League football? As stated, let me know down there in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video. As always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content, and get your score predictions for the clash against Hearts at Hampden down there in the comment section below. Are we going to be going to the final? Yes or no? Score predictions, comment section. Take care, guys. We are the people. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.